NASCAR is finally maybe getting a Netflix Drive to Survive-like series for this season's NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. You heard that right. According to Adam Stern at the Sports Business Journal, NASCAR is getting a docuseries, a Drive to Survive-like, and I'm saying Drive to Survive-like because it's a good reference point for people. I don't necessarily know if box-to-box films or if race service is involved, but something along those lines that is similar to the docuseries that you saw last year that was aired on USA at possibly the worst time slot ever, 10 p.m. on a Thursday night against Thursday Night Football, because, of course, there's no guys in your demo that are watching that. They'd much rather watch the NASCAR docuseries on USA, a cable channel that not everybody gets. And then they put it on Peacock way later, and it just didn't succeed. Now, though, NASCAR is reportedly close to finalizing a deal to make sure that that docuseries they saw last year for this season's playoffs is on Netflix at some predetermined date. Hopefully before, like, the Daytona 500, but who knows at this point. Regardless, that's a massive win for the sport in a week where NASCAR's digital and media teams have already taken a massive W as well with the launch of NASCAR Classics. And if you haven't seen that yet, go to classics.nascar.com because there's over 1,000 NASCAR Cup Series races you can watch in their entirety for free with no ads. There's even a great little timeline for you to pick from. It's an absolutely phenomenal resource, and more races will get added. We're missing one race in there, and that would be the 2001 Daytona 500. RIP. But at the same time, there are a ton of races in there. You want to watch the 2002 Pop Secret Microwave Popcorn 500, Johnny Benson's only career win at Rockingham? It's on there. Go see it. Ron Bouchard's win at Talladega in 1981 when he went around the outside of Darrell Waltrip? Not on there. Can't go see that. But there is a ton of races on there. So go check that out. A massive win for NASCAR's media team and their digital team. Shout out to them for getting it all together because that has to be an absolutely monumental task that they did. So credit to them. And now with this news that they are potentially signing a deal with Netflix, it's just nothing but W's coming from over there. Cue up that DJ Khaled All We Do Is Win song because for this week at least, they've done everything they could possibly do to win. Now, if we're talking about a Drive to Survive-like series, what does that necessarily mean? Well, hopefully it's in chronological order because trying to watch the playoffs in reverse order is going to be very difficult. I don't know how we're going to go from Phoenix being like the 4th episode, but then Bristol being the last episode. That would be very confusing. So hopefully it is in chronological order because that's one thing that drives me absolutely insane about Drive to Survive Formula One. But we all know that the Formula One boom in America was fueled by Drive to Survive, right? Its popularity on Netflix absolutely skyrocketed Formula One way up amongst a younger demographic, right? Obviously, we all know that over 50% of their demo that tunes in each week, about 500 to 600,000 viewers, tends to be in that coveted 18 to 49-year-old demo. For comparison's sake, NASCAR gets, 2.5, 3 million viewers each week on cable. They'll hit 4 million when they're on network. But because of that, or that demo, I should say, usually around 75% of that demo is outside of that 18 to 49-year-old demo, which is not ideal because the way life works, those people aren't going to be around forever, and that 18 to 49-year-old demo is going to be around a lot longer than the people that are already outside of that demo, and they desperately need to figure out how to get more people in that demographic, something that Formula One has already done, and Formula One did that in part because of Drive to Survive, but also because they've positioned themselves as being cool. They've convinced you that Esteban Ocon is interesting, and that man's about as interesting as a gravel driveway is. NASCAR has personalities if they just would be willing to show them. Chase Elliott, not so much, but there are certainly other drivers that have pretty good personalities out there. And that's something that NASCAR desperately needs. They desperately need a docuseries, something like Drive to Survive, to push their stars out there. I mean, Drive to Survive turned all of these F1 drivers into rock stars right now. And I know all these Formula One fans that say that I've watched Formula One. We're going on 25 years now. I'm aware these guys have been rock stars around the world. I'm talking about in America. Even their popularity overseas has definitely skyrocketed because of Drive to Survive. But, when they come to the States now, everybody thinks that they're like the hottest thing going. And NASCAR had a boom a bit like that back in the early to mid 2000s, and then it obviously dove down about as hard as the economy did there in the late 2000s. I almost said 2010s. Clearly the 2000s. At the same time, though, NASCAR needs this Drive to Survive type of series to help try to propel them up, try to convince the younger audience to tune in. And Netflix has 200 million subscribers. That's a ton of potential fans right now, because I can guarantee you that's at least 198 million people that aren't tuning into a NASCAR race each and every weekend like some of us are. So at the same time, while people are like, oh, do we need this, blah, 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 we do. We absolutely, as a sport, do need something like this. And I think it's a great step in the right direction to trying to grow that younger audience, and something that they have desperately needed to do for a while, because they obviously did do a partnership with Netflix a few years ago, and instead of doing a docuseries, instead of doing a Drive to Survive like show, they instead teamed up with Kevin James to produce this horrid show called The Crew, which was so bad it didn't get renewed for a second season, and everybody just clowned on it because that's exactly what they should have done. That was a Brian France NASCAR move. That was a move made by old people that have no idea what people actually want to see, and they're like, Kevin James was funny on King of Queens, we should have him do something else. We shouldn't have Kevin James do anything. No offense to Kevin James, but his time has passed a little bit, more than a little bit. And a sitcom too. In the year anything 2020s. I'm not sure, it could have come out in 2019. I have no idea. But at the same time, at no point should you be doing a sitcom around NASCAR. Like, that was just one of the dumbest ideas that they could possibly have had. So while Formula One and Drive to Survive rather, just boomed in popularity and just ate everybody's lunch, NASCAR's over here with this stupid sitcom show that they were doing, and it obviously didn't gain a foothold, didn't attract anybody in a new audience. I don't know. I know some NASCAR fans probably watched it. I did not. I did not turn it on, and I'm sure you probably didn't either, because you're tuning into this, which tells me that you're an intelligent person. I hope. Regardless, NASCAR finally taking a step in the right direction. They're doing something, and sure, you can call it copying Formula One and their success, whatever. That's exactly what they needed to do, though. They need to get onto the most popular streaming service in the world and put their product in front of everybody. I don't know if they can convince whoever at Netflix runs the homepage and has put suits on the front page of Netflix for every single person in the world. I don't know if they can convince them to do that for NASCAR, but if they can, they should. And if they have to pay a couple of dollars extra, I'll pitch into a GoFundMe to make sure that other people can be able to view this. I'm tired of seeing that suits advertisement. Holy crap. I don't care about Mike. I don't care about Harvey. I don't care about Meghan Markle. That's probably who this is behind. Who's behind all this, though? Meghan Markle. Just a little dark lord back there controlling everybody. Not going to get off on a tangent, though. It's great for the sport. It's another massive win for NASCAR on a week where they already took a massive win with that NASCAR Classics launch. Again, go check that out if you haven't. But like and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on TikTok @BreakHard, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads @BreakHardBlog.